As You Think by James Allen is perhaps the most important book I've ever read. It's not very big, but every word and sentence contains so much knowledge that it's a book I find myself going back to multiple times a year. In this video, we're going to take a look at some specific quotes that I think really captures the essence of the book and see what takeaways we're able to find. Let's get into it. As You Think was a book that was originally written back in 1904, and it uses something of a flowery and grandiose prose that I think comes off as really sincere. It's written in such a way that you get the impression the author sincerely just wants to help. It's not accusatory, there are no pointing fingers, it just speaks an honest truth that can be a foundation for any path towards improvement. Let's take a look at some quotes. We do not attract what we want, but what we are. We don't get what we wish and pray for. We get what we justly earn. Our wishes and prayers are only gratified and answered when they harmonize with our thoughts and actions. Most of us are anxious to improve our circumstances, but are unwilling to improve ourselves, and therefore we remain bound. These quotes register so strongly for me because they speak to a really interesting concept. It's less about wanting something or to achieve something or get to a certain status. It's more about becoming the type of person who's able to earn those things. And some of those qualities means developing persistence, developing discipline, being able to commit to something, overcoming obstacles and self-doubt, and all the things that can get in the way between you and your goals. When I read these quotes, when I read this book before and I read this section, it made me realize that I had spent a lot of time wanting something, but not necessarily thinking about it enough to put action and time into it. And it made those things feel a lot more attainable. If I just continue to think about them and stick to it, I may not get it right away, but there's no way I reach that destination without taking the journey to get there. That's what these quotes meant to me. To overcome feelings of anxiousness and feeling bound by our circumstances, and to get the things that we want in life, we must first commit to improving ourselves, to becoming the type of person that commits thoughts and actions towards the accomplishments of goals, and it's only a matter of time before they start to manifest themselves in our lives. Even if we fail again and again to accomplish our purpose, as we necessarily must until our weakness is overcome, the strength of character gained will be the measure of our true success, and this will form a new starting point for future power and triumph. This quote is really interesting to me because it changes my relationship with the concept of failure. I spent a lot of my life actively wanting to avoid failure, but this quote, especially the part, as we necessarily must until our weakness is overcome, intrinsically ties the concept of failure to success. We must endure failure to ultimately succeed. And each time that we do so, we develop strength of character. We get better at what we're doing, and we develop the resolve to ultimately achieve our goal. That's really empowering to me, and I think it's a really interesting concept to think about. There can be no progress, no achievement without a certain degree of sacrifice. And our worldly success will be directly proportional to the degree that we overcome selfish, indulgent thoughts and fix our minds on the development of our plans and the strengthening of our resolution and self-reliance. When I first read this quote, it made me think about my definition of the word sacrifice and ended up expanding the concept quite a bit. If you choose to work on a long-term goal rather than watch a YouTube video and just hang out, you are making a sacrifice. If you are choosing to leave your comfort zone and tread into territories that can invite self-doubt and the fear of failure, you are sacrificing that sense of comfort. This quote also made me realize that anytime I fall into a deep depression or get into any sort of rut, that is a form of indulgence. I'm indulging those negative thoughts and feelings and allowing them to hamper my efforts towards becoming more of the person that I aspire to be. Reading this quote makes me contextualize that in such a way that it's not easy. It's easier said than done for sure, but it just makes me realize the more I can spend thoughts on strengthening my resolve to become more self-reliant, to focus my thoughts more on my goals rather than indulging my negative feelings, the better off I'll be in the long run. I would not be the person I am today without having read this book. I think no matter where you're at in life, no matter what you're aspiring towards, this book is conceptual and will help you to frame your thoughts in such a way to best position you for success. So to wrap these sets of quotes up, the three main things that I've learned is that rather than focusing on wanting something, focus more on becoming the type of person that earns those things. It's taught me that failure is a strengthening part of the process. It's not something to be feared. And it also taught me that to truly accomplish big goals, it requires a sacrifice of both time and comfort. For a book that was written in 1904, the contents of it has only become more relevant and more important over time. I cannot more strongly recommend this book. I'll leave a link down in the description below if you want to check it out yourself. But yeah, this is the most important book that I've read in my entire life and has served as the foundation for my journey of self-development and discovery. If you ever do check it out, I would love to know what you think. If these quotes have resonated with you, please let me know down in the comments as well. And yeah, that'll be it. My name is Albert. This has been On to Something. I hope to catch you in a future video. Take it easy.